But what we'll start off with for these playoffs, I just want to get your take on maybe a dark horse for each conference.
Well, I've liked Oklahoma City from the beginning of the year. I picked them. Remember that they could actually come out of the West, and they're actually pretty close. I'm an old guy who plays basketball, and when I see young guys like that, I think they'll be able to run teams like the Lakers, Warriors, and the older Suns. They'll be able to run them out of the gym. I don't know whether they'll beat Denver. Minnesota can be a lot, but I mean, Chet Holmgren's an absolute baller, and they've just got a lot of young talent, and they can run, and just remains to be seen whether their coach can take them the distance. But I think they're the team and the team of the future in the West.
So that's your dark horse.
Yeah, that's my dark horse.
And I think the main issue people have with the Thunder, even though they have a guy like Chet Holmgren who has really opened up that entire offense and an MVP candidate, probably number 2 or number 3 in a lot of people's mind, really bolster that team's chances. But in the first round, they're playing the Pelicans. They're playing like probably everyone's unobserved. They're my actual dark horse in the Western Conference, where if you're a great team like the Thunder, the last team I would want to play personally is the Pelicans. The season series with them across this season, they played them 3 total times, and the Thunder won 2 of the 3, and the Pelicans lost the 1. In the 1 loss, Zion didn't play. In the 2 wins, Zion did play, and one of them was really, really, really close. The one that was very close, they had C.J. McCollum drop over 20. They had Zion drop over 20. And they also had Valanciunas score just about 20 points. So I think the key to them winning that series is having not just 2 scorers, having the X factor to me in the entire playoffs, that Trey Murphy III. I think at the very least, the Pelicans are going to give them a much better series than people realize. And I think the people are counting out the Pelicans before the playoffs even start. They got those 2 dependent scorers, C.J. McCollum and Zion. As long as Zion's healthy, but he's been lighting it up the past 10 games going into the playoffs. And I think that X factor for the whole series is going to be that 3rd scorer. And if it's not the 3rd, it'll be Trey Jones putting up 15, and then Valanciunas, whatever the guy's name is, putting up.
Do 2015. Not that he always does, but he's just capable of those type of games.
Exactly.
That would be my dark, if you want to call it a dark horse. The Thunder were my dark horse. But the Pelicans are clearly the other team that I think that could go deep. When Zion is going, I mean, I haven't seen any team when he wants to play and when he goes hard, I haven't seen any team that can stop him. The question is, can he, the playoffs might be good for him if he's playing 35, 40 minutes a night, 3 or 4 nights a week. He might get might get in game shape, and he might be able to finish games. I also love McCollum. McCollum's a gamer. He can go, he can put up 35 in a big game. He's always been a money player. That's Chunas, I think his name is. I like him too. I like his little inside game. I think he's a more than capable player, maybe a little bit weak on the defense. Yeah, I think they're, I think Thunder comes out of that series. Hopefully they don't play each other, because I'd like to see both of them. I'd like to see both of those teams start to go against the older teams like the Suns, Lakers, Warriors, and Kings versus Suns. That's another interesting one. If the season ends today, you don't really know, because they're all pretty close right now. But if the Kings were to play the Suns, I'd like to watch that series too, because the Kings can run you out of the gym too. You know what I mean? And the Suns are old.
No, the only problem with that series is the winner of that, because they're at 7th and 8th right now. The winner of that plays the Nuggets, and I feel like if you're in the West, that is the last team you want to avoid the Nuggets until the Western Conference Finals, if possible. You're almost like the Suns or the Kings are probably playing to lose at that point. They want to win. They're going to play the winner or loser of the Lakers Warriors as of right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Either way, I think the Nuggets. The Nuggets can take any team coming out of the play-in. The Kings can give anybody problems if they get going and they get running. But I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I think but he healed. I think that loss hurt him a little bit. You know, they just lost a little bit of shooting there. And so I don't know that they're going to be able to do what they do. I do feel comfortable saying that they're capable of beating any of the other three teams in the play-in. But beyond that, I don't know if they're going there. Mavericks, I don't think them or the Clippers are really a threat. Neither one of them is. You just need to be a team, and you need to play defense. And neither one of those teams. I mean, Kawhi's a good defender, but Kawhi might decide to sit. You know what I mean?
No, Kawhi doesn't sit during the playoffs.
It's that time of year. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also,
we'll see. He's already starting to sit. His knees bothering him a little bit, you know, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, no, and in terms of picking a dark horse for the Western Conference, it's almost impossible. Like, let's say the Lakers, they're currently sitting at the 9th seed. If they magically go on a run and all of a sudden they face the Timberwolves and they're coming in, all of a sudden everyone's, hey, the Lakers, yeah, it's like they're coming of age, you know what I mean? Yeah, they're playing like they should. The Warriors, they still have, they're probably the true only team in the Western Conference that they have Steph Curry, but in all actuality, their team might not be as talented. But the Suns, the Kings, name a team in the West aside from maybe the Pelicans, but even they have Zion. Any team that goes on a run, including the Lakers, they still got LeBron, Davis, Russell. Like, every team is absolutely loaded. Any team that goes on a run, it's almost like, well, what is that? Unexpected? The Suns have been terrible and inconsistent to say the least. If they go on a run, they got the best scorer in the league. They probably have a top 3 other scorer in the league: Durant, Booker, and Beal. Maybe not necessarily this year, but before this year, if he starts playing like he should, that should be expected as well. You know what I mean?
I know, but can the Suns be a dark horse with?
That's what I'm saying.
3 top 10 players in the league.
That's why the only dark horse.
Beal one, but Booker, man, that in the playoffs, that guy went on fire last year. So, but I just don't think of them. You know, you can't consider like Clippers, Mavericks, Suns, especially the Clippers and the Suns. You can't consider them dark horses because, I mean, how do you consider Durant, Booker, and Beal a dark horse, and Harden?
Exactly.
Kawhi and what's their other top 50? Oh, Paul George
and they got Russ coming off the bench.
You know, how do you consider that a dark horse? So the Thunder, I guess, we can agree that would be the legitimate dark horse that they could go on a roll with Zion.
No, but the Thunder or the Pelicans?
I'm sorry, the Pelicans.
Exactly. To me, the only true dark horses that could come out and be called dark horses in the Western Conference would be the Kings, which no one's really expecting anything out of the Kings.
Yeah.
And the Pelicans, who they still have Zion, but at the end of the day, CJ, Zion, and Trey Murphy, in comparison to the rest of the West, that to me is a legitimate dark horse. But that could still maybe even upset their first round matchup.